starts right now.
There's a new vaccine available to Americans, and it'll start shipping out as early as tomorrow. I'm Mike Ajachi in Washington. Coming up, we'll take a look at Johnson & Johnson's new single-shot dose.
Look outside with live cam. Here at 55 degrees, and I'm driving to work. Had a little bit of rain, so it's probably good.
I'll translate with a microphone that works here in just one moment. Good morning, everybody. It is Monday. It is March 1st. Last week was kind of weird. There were about 4 or 5 of us here on the morning shift that were out of the mix. Just to be safe, we were in quarantine last week, but everybody, as far as I know, is feeling great.
Great.
We're back.
You guys?
Yeah, this morning. Yeah.
Everything's hunky-dory.
And I know there was some discussion over the weekend about this morning for the possibility of strong, maybe severe storm. On the table, off the table?
Off the table now. So where's the shot? There we go. Yeah, it had looked like it yesterday that the atmosphere is setting up, but there's a pretty good lid on the atmosphere right now, and it didn't break down. So we do have some showers out there. There will be a couple of thunderstorms, mainly off to the north, but as far as the severe threat, that's pretty much out of the picture as of right now. Looks like the road is kind of damp over there, 410 over there by the airport, looking off to the northwest. There is plenty of light rain around, even down around Beeville. We've got a few of these light showers that have been moving through town. Just assume that the roads are wet. We're going to be seeing this rain off and on throughout the rest of the morning. And then further up to the north and west, maybe even a couple of lightning strikes over there, perhaps in northwestern Kerr County. But you see everything is moving off to the kind of northeast, and that's where the majority of the heavier rain is going to be. So good news, we're not getting anything severe. Bad news is we're not getting any really decent rain, just basically nuisance rain around here this morning. 55 degrees right now. Everybody's in the mid-50s, very consistent temperatures. And we do still have some fog down to the south, southwest, and southeast. Mile and a quarter visibility in Beeville as of right now. Pretty good breeze out there. Wind is out of the north at about, say, 15, 20 miles per hour. We do have a few gusts on top of that. 29 at Stinson, 25 out there at the airport. It is going to be breezy throughout the day. Molds on the high side. Still got mountain cedar hanging on in there. Hopefully that gets out of the picture one of these days. 53 degrees this morning, so temperatures will continue to drop down just a little bit. Of course, we got the blanket of clouds on top of us. Shower, a couple of thunderstorms around. Then we rebound. Not that much. 55, that's going to be it today. We're going to have some showers around, so it's going to be kind of chilly, it's going to be breezy, and it's going to be on the damp side. We'll start to warm up throughout the rest of the week, but today, grilled cheese and soup kind of a day. Details coming up in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, Samuel King. Looks like it's going to be one of those mornings.
Yeah, already some wet weather on the roads. This is 281 at Almost. You can see the pavement. You can see the raindrops on the camera at 281 at Hildebrand, Mike. So definitely already starting to see some raindrops. And we also have a crash reported this morning. This is I-10 westbound at WW White Road. This is on the east side. This is on the on-ramp. You can see most of the delay now is on WW White itself. So watch out for that this morning. Looking across the area, though, that's really the only area of concern. We still have this construction, as you know, on 281 between TPC Parkway and 1604. Drive time right now still looks pretty good. 8 minutes northbound, 8 and 7 minutes southbound. We'll be back with another update in just a few minutes. Mark, Stephanie?
Thank you, Samuel. Good to see you, sir. New this morning, Johnson & Johnson's single-shot vaccine has been approved and is now available for emergency use.
The good news means millions of more single-shot doses will be available to Americans 18 and older this week. ABC's Ike Ajachi is in Washington with the latest.
New this morning, another vaccine becoming available in the fight against COVID. Johnson & Johnson's single-shot dose has been granted emergency use authorization by the FDA.
This vaccine has been shown to be 100% protective against hospitalizations and death.
Clinical trials have also shown the vaccine to be effective against the South African and Brazilian variants. The new vaccine will start shipping out today, with the first doses in arms coming as early as Tuesday. Of the almost 4 million single-shot doses going to Americans, 2.8 million of those to states and local jurisdictions. The rest to pharmacies, communities, and federally qualified health centers. And this morning, Johnson & Johnson saying they'll soon test their single-shot dose on children, even newborns and pregnant women. Dr. Fauci telling Americans to take whatever vaccine available.
The quicker you get vaccinated, the more quickly you will be protected, and you will add on to the overall protection in your county, in your country.
But some experts do say we're still a ways away from normalcy.
We're not able to vaccinate 80% of the population quite yet, and by April, we'll still be a ways off.
But many Americans are ready to get back to normal. This morning, reports out of Miami show a rising number of tourists gathering for spring break.
We're going somewhere now.
And on the COVID relief front, President Biden planning to meet with Senate Democrats Tuesday as they prepare to consider his $1.9 trillion relief package. The bill passed the House, but changes will be made in the Senate.
We have no time to waste. If we act now, decisively, quickly, and boldly, we can finally get ahead of this virus. We can finally get our economy moving again. And the people of this country have suffered far too much for too long.
Now, the $15 federal minimum wage is expected to be left out of the bill once it's all said and done. But there are some Senate Democrats who feel they'll be able to add it in as an amendment later on. In Washington, Ike Ajachi, ABC News.
Here's a look at the latest COVID-19 update for Bexar County. Health officials say there are 318 new cases and no new deaths. They're also reporting 491 backlog cases along with 150 deaths, which have been added to the county's all-time total. In addition, 447 people remain in local hospitals with 195 in the ICU, 11 on ventilators.
We also want to let you know Metro Health has opened 10,000 first vaccine appointments at the Alamo Dome. Appointments are only available for those eligible in phases 1A and 1B and can be made on Metro Health's website or by calling 311. You can find all this information and more right now on KSAT.com.
4:36 right now. Every 2 seconds, someone in the U.S. needs blood, and nearly 21 million blood products are transfused each and every year. This critical need is why KSAT has teamed up with its community partners for a blood drive today. Our Sarah Costa joins us live near downtown with how you can donate. Good morning, Sarah.
Good morning, Mark. And KSAT and our community partner, University Health, is encouraging the community to do their part, make a difference, and donate blood. And you can do so by rolling up your sleeve today and tomorrow at KSAT Community's blood drive in partnership with University Health at the Whitty Museum from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. You know, between the pandemic and the winter storm in February, the blood supply is critically low. Dr. Leslie Grebon with University Health Medical, she's the director of transfusion services. She says COVID-19 has created even more challenges for so many reasons. It's more complicated to provide for safe donations and social distancing. The donor pool has decreased due to illness or quarantine, and far fewer large businesses or schools are holding donor drives. So you can do your part today and tomorrow by going online right now to ksatcommunity.com and schedule your appointment. Everyone who donates at the Whitty in this blood drive will receive a complimentary pass to its special exhibition, The Machine Inside Biomechanics. And of course, it's just not the need for blood right now. There are so many people in need, especially after February's winter storms. You can also head to ksat.com/ksatcommunity.com, and you can see a full list of all the nonprofits helping those who are suffering from that winter storm at this time. Reporting live near downtown, I'm Sarah Costa, KSAT 12 News. Mark and Stephanie.
Thank you, Sarah. Time now is 4:38, 55 degrees.
Still ahead, former President Trump taking center stage once again, hinting at a run in 2024.
And taking a look outside with live cam, I was trying to tell you guys earlier that my drive into work, I did experience rain. So some rain, but not as much as we thought at first. But we're going to check in with Mike later on today to see just how much rain we're going to get.
I could hear you.
You can hear me?
Earlier.
Well, that works. And welcome back. It's 4:41. A fraternity at Virginia Commonwealth University has been served with a cease and desist order after a 19-year-old student was found dead. Richmond police say they found the body of Adam Oakes Saturday morning in an off-campus home. Both the university and the Delta Chi fraternity's national office sent a cease and desist order to the VCU chapter. The medical examiner has begun an investigation into the exact cause of death.
Former President Donald Trump won the CPAC Unscientific 2024 Republican presidential straw poll. Attendees picked the former president as their favorite candidate with 55% of the vote, second to Florida Governor Ron DeSantis with 21%. South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem finished a distant third with 4%. A second presidential poll at CPAC imagined a race without the former president in 2024. Florida Governor DeSantis lapped the field in front of his home state crowd with 43%. Noem was still in second place with 11. Donald Trump Jr. took third place with 8%.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is accusing Iran of attacking an Israeli-owned ship. The explosion struck the cargo ship last week as it was sailing out of the Middle East on its way to Singapore on Friday. The crew was unharmed in the blast, but the vessel sustained 2 holes on its port side and 2 on its starboard side. It remains unclear what caused that blast. It docked in Dubai for repairs and inspection.
Coming off a big win against New Orleans, the San Antonio Spurs staying home for most of this week. They host the Brooklyn Nets tonight, starting at 7:30 at the AT&T Center. Then tomorrow, the Knicks come to town, followed by the Thunder on Thursday. Then the Silver and Black travel to Atlanta for the NBA All-Star Game.
Busy week. Go Spurs, go. Time now, 4:43 and 55 degrees.
Up next, a first look at an investigation involving a doctor who was seen performing surgery while appearing on Zoom in traffic court.
In this morning's GMA First Look, zooming from the operating room.
Are you available for trial? It kind of looks like you're in an operating room right now.
I am, sir. I'm in an operating room. Yes, I'm available for trial.
The proceedings right now, they are being live streamed on YouTube.
This jaw-dropping video captures the moment a Northern California plastic surgeon was caught on camera zooming into traffic court while operating on a patient. The judge presiding in disbelief.
So unless I'm mistaken, I'm seeing a defendant that's in the middle of an operating room appearing to be actively engaged in providing services to a patient. Is that correct, Mr. Green? Yes, sir.
So what are the consequences for performing plastic surgery while zooming about another matter? Coming up at 7 a.m., we'll tell you what the California Medical Board is saying this morning and have much more of this hard-to-believe video. With your GMA First Look, I'm Will Reeve, ABC News, New York.
Yeah, I was telling Steph there's at one point where they swear him in and he holds up a bloody rubber glove.
Oh my gosh.
To agree to the oath.
And I didn't believe you. You're like, nope, it happened.
It happened, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Head-shaking news. Let's see how things are looking on the roads. And of course, we do have some moisture out there. What's the latest, Samuel?
Well, we still have one crash here, Mark and Stephanie. This is at I-10 East, on the east side, but it's westbound at WW You see there's still a delay there on WW White Road, so that's something to watch out for. Otherwise, things looking pretty quiet across the region. A lot of green on the map. Over the weekend and overnight, we had construction again on 410 between West Military and 151, but that should be clearing up shortly. And looking at Bandera Road, not too bad this morning, 10 minutes each way between 410 and 1604. And here's Trans-Sky 281 at Divine, 410 at Jackson Keller, the mystery spot. We could do a guessing game of where that is because it's not marked. And then I-10 at Frio looking fine this morning.
Happened so fast, I'm going to need another clue.
Yes, me too.
Well, the roads are not soaking wet, but something we haven't really focused on in our chat so far this morning is how much cooler it feels this morning.
Yeah, we had the front move through overnight, and that has really dropped temperatures down and really dried things out. Now, of course, yesterday we had a lot of fog around here. There isn't any in town, as you can see in this picture. We still do have some fog down to the southeast, and yeah, like Mark was just saying, the roads aren't soaking wet, but we're not done with the rain chances as of this is what it looks like in the broad view, wide view all around the area. A lot of basically some light showers, and notice how everything is sort of sliding up to the north just a little bit, even though that front has moved on through. So this is kind of overrunning this relatively cooler air down here at the surface. Just a scattering of some light showers around here. As I was talking about, most of the heavier rain, potentially some stronger thunderstorms. That's all sort of diverted up to the north of us. We've got this lid on top of us, and that was one of the determining factors as to whether we were going to see any severe weather. Yes, it had looked like it, that there might be something developing overnight, but we just couldn't get rid of this lid on top of the atmosphere. However, there will be a few thunderstorms, and I think we need to watch out for this line right here. Just along 90, there's a heavier shower, heavier thunderstorm, or a heavier downpour, I should say, which may turn into a thunderstorm out there. And that's, again, all working to the east to northeast. So we're still going to be seeing a few lightning strikes out there and a couple of rumbles of thunder. Temperatures have, like I said, dropped down a little bit, but also the dew point temperatures have dropped down. We've got these numbers down in the 40s and 30s. Yesterday was kind of a sultry day. We were in the mid and upper 60s for those dew point temperatures, and that's why you could definitely feel it. But yeah, it is much more comfortable out there. Here's the computer model that's going through the rest of today. And this line right there, that's the front that moved on through, and that will continue to slide down to the southeast. We keep a couple of scattered showers in behind, but computer models, I still have a chance of a few showers left over later on this afternoon, but most of them have a lot of everything getting on out of here by at least say mid-afternoon. We'll still have a lot of clouds left over, and we'll start off with plenty of clouds tomorrow, but then see more sunshine as we go into the afternoon hours tomorrow. So good looking week overall. This morning it is going to be a damp commute. We'll still have a couple of showers and a few thunderstorms around here at noon, and temperatures will again drop down this morning and then start to rebound somewhat, but it's not going to be a big bounce coming back, just 55 degrees later on this afternoon, with still maybe a couple of showers, especially off to the east. And then tomorrow we'll have plenty of clouds hanging around here in the morning hours, then more sunshine in the afternoon. Normal high temperature now is 70, so the next couple of days will still be cooler than that. As a matter of fact, tomorrow night into Wednesday, it's going to be close to freezing in parts of the hill country, and then back up into the mid 70s by the end of the week, and a little bit of a drop down in temperatures by the weekend.
But mild in the afternoon. Looks nice.
Today's going to be one of those just kind of wet, windy, and chilly days.
Thank you, Mike. 451, 55 degrees.
And still ahead, a classic dynamic animated duo raked in some money at the box office. Plus, we're going to tell you about a new host of ABC's The Bachelor.
Two big-name actors reuniting on screen, plus The Bachelor is getting a new host.
For the latest on what's happening in Hollywood, here's ABC's Mark Remillard.
George Clooney and Julia Roberts reuniting on screen in a new romantic comedy, Ticket to Paradise. The pair most recently teamed up in Money Monster and also starred together in Oceans 11 and 12. This time around, they'll portray a divorced couple who head to Bali in hopes of stopping their daughter from getting married and making the same mistake they believe they made 25 years ago. The movie will be directed by Ole Parker, who wrote and directed the 2018 musical film Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again.
After a lifetime of being the world's most famous enemies,
Tom and Jerry, the iconic cat and mouse frenemies, making some friends at the box office this weekend, earning $13.7 million in North America and bringing in nearly $39 million globally. This marks the second best three-day movie launch of the pandemic, behind another Warner Brothers release, Wonder Woman 1984, which earned $16.7 million in its opening weekend. ABC's The Bachelor getting a new host. Former Philadelphia Eagles linebacker and best-selling author Emmanuel Acho will host The Bachelor After the Final Rose, after Chris Harrison announced he's stepping aside for a period of time. The show has been rocked by racial controversies after photos surfaced of contestant Rachel Kirkconnell at a plantation-themed college party 3 years ago. Harrison angered fans after defending Kirkconnell. And happy birthday to Ron Howard, the director, producer, and actor, celebrating his 67th birthday. And singer-songwriter Justin Bieber turns 27. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. I'm Mark Remillard, ABC News.
It's about 5 till 55 degrees.
And still ahead on GMSA, former President Trump is stirring up support once again for a possible run in 2024. We're going to hear reactions from other Republicans.
And are you tired of looking at yourself on Zoom calls? Researchers say you're not alone. Details on the new study just ahead in Tech Bites.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Making news this morning, the latest on a shooting on the city's south side that sent a victim to the hospital.
And former President Trump gives his first speech since being acquitted during his second impeachment trial.
Rainy and cooler, but maybe not quite as wet as we thought it was going to be for an early Monday morning. Details coming up. Good morning, everybody. It's the beginning of a new week and a new month, Monday, March 1st.
Thanks for joining us this morning. And I was telling Mark earlier that 55 degrees, like a walk in the park, compared to a couple of weeks ago, 9 degrees.
That's right. She feels like she lives in Lambeau Field, Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
She's a veteran of
old
icy
pro.
weather.
I'm an old pro now.
Yeah, but get used to this temperature because this is pretty much what it's going to be staying all day long. As a matter of fact, we will drop down a few degrees in the next couple of hours and then only rebound back to the mid 50s. And also, as you can see, we do have a fairly decent breeze out of the north at about 16 miles per hour. And that bottom number there, the dew point, has dropped down considerably, especially compared to yesterday. And again, temperatures going to start to drop down a little bit in the next couple of hours, then rebound and only make it up to, again, about the mid 50s later on today. We have some rain chances around this morning, and they will continue to definitely drop down as the afternoon rolls on. The aquifer went up 0.3 of a foot on yesterday's reading, and the allergens got a lot of mold out there, and that's probably going to be on the higher side today as well. Mountain cedar and ash are both low. As far as rain, first of all, yesterday, of course, Sarah and Katie were both talking about the potential severe threat. That has pretty much changed overnight. It's out of the picture. The atmosphere, there's been, and the real determining factor was this big lid on top of the atmosphere, best way to describe it, and whether that lid would go away and get broken, but it never broke down. So again, that's why we're taking the severe threat out of the picture. We still have some rain around there, obviously, a little bit of some light showers. Not much is showing up in town as of right now, but we'll continue to see more as the morning progresses. The majority of the rain is well up there, even north of the hill country, although now we're not, just because there's not a lot of rain right now doesn't mean we're not going to see a lot of rain. As you can see, there are a couple of fairly decent cells that are developing here in northern Uvalde County, and don't be surprised if some of these start to generate a couple of lightning strikes, and we see that this morning with a few thunderstorms thrown in. It is very breezy out there. Winds are gusting about 25, close to 30 miles per hour. And it's going to stay fairly breezy throughout the day. And later on today, again, we only rebound up to 55 degrees. A lot of clouds, kind of breezy, one of those just kind of stay inside, hunker down sort of days, but a lot of sunshine the next few days. Details on that coming up in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, Samuel King. Got some damp roads out there? Any problems yet?
Yeah, we do have some damp roads, Mike, here and there, but as you mentioned, not seeing much fall right now, and we are noticing in a couple of TransSky cameras, at least, that the breeze you were talking about, some of them are shaking around a little bit, so that's something like this one at 410 at Morsend. And let's take a look here. We had this crash at I-10 east, on the east side, the westbound lanes, and W.W. White. You can see that crash is now clear, so things should be returning to normal. We can take that off the board. Taking a look at your travel times from around the area, 29 minutes coming in on I-10 from Seguin, and then 25 minutes coming in on I-10 from Bernie, 26 minutes on 35 from New Braunfels. And we'll have another update coming up. Mark, Stephanie, over to you.
Police continue to search for the suspect that shot a man on the city's south side last night.
This happening in the 1200 block of Pleasanton Road. Our Sarah Costa is live near downtown with what we know about the incident. Good morning, Sarah.
Good morning, Mark and Stephanie. Well, police say it started as two men working together, and then they got into an argument about money. San Antonio police said they responded to a call around 8:30 last night to the 1200 block of Pleasanton Road. When they arrived on scene, they found a 25-year-old man with 2 gunshot wounds to his back. He was in stable condition and was able to talk with police about what had happened. The victim told police he and a 28-year-old man had been working together. They got into an argument over money being owed. Things escalated from there, and that's when he told police the suspect pulled out a gun and shot him twice in the back. The suspect then drove off. Police say they are still looking for that suspect at the time, and they don't have a description of the car that he drove off in, but they say they know the identity of that man. Reporting live near downtown, I'm Sarah Costa, KSAT 12 News. Mark and Stephanie.
Thank you, Sarah. After a standoff yesterday in a far west Bexar County neighborhood, a man who was armed with an AR-15 rifle is now in custody. Sheriff Javier Salazar says the man was placed in custody around 6 p.m. last night. Earlier in the day, Salazar says he had been seen walking around with the rifle while wearing body armor, even at one point taking what Salazar referred to as a combative stance while facing deputies. The sheriff says the man has since been taken to an area hospital for mental health treatment. Salazar says the man was likely suffering from symptoms of PTSD. No injuries were reported.
A Universal City family mourning the loss of their loved one who was gunned down in a murder-suicide Saturday morning. That's according to Schertz police. 45-year-old Kristen Slack found dead in a yard on Judith Ann Drive. Police later learned the suspect responsible was her boyfriend, Todd Danhoff, who turned the gun on himself afterwards. The family said Slack was a loving mother and a caring nurse who was ripped away too soon. She leaves behind 2 siblings and 5 children.
You take for granted the people in your lives. You know what I mean? You're thinking that they're always going to be there. You don't think events like this are going to happen.
Family says Slack had not been in a relationship long with Danhoff and that she was not in any domestic violence situation. The investigation on the case is ongoing. Former President Donald Trump returning to the public stage. This time he spoke at the conservative conference in Orlando, Florida.
As ABC's Mary Alice Parks reports, former President Trump is hinting at another run in 2024.
Because the flag still stands for freedom.
Former President Donald Trump returning to center stage.
Well, thank you very much. And hello, CPAC. Do you miss me yet? Do you miss me?
Addressing a largely maskless crowd at a conservative conference in Florida, teasing another run.
And I want you to know that I'm going to continue to fight right by your side. I may even decide to beat them for a third time, okay?
Telling Republicans he still wants to lead, still pushing the lie the election was stolen. It's his first speech since being acquitted in his second impeachment trial, accused of inciting the violent insurrection at the Capitol.
We have the Republican Party. It's going to unite and be stronger than ever before.
But this Trump show in Florida today, a reminder of his popularity in the party. Eager supporters lining up to take photos with this golden statue of the former president.
We want to see our president.
A Quinnipiac poll this month shows 3/4 of Republicans still want Trump to play a prominent role in the party going forward.
Donald J. Trump ain't going anywhere.
Leader of the conservative movement, the leader of the American First movement, the leader of the Republican Party.
Not there this weekend, several top Republicans, including Trump's own Vice President Mike Pence, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, and third-ranking GOP member in the House, Liz Cheney. Cheney, one of 10 House Republicans who voted to impeach the former president 6 weeks ago. A reminder, GOP leadership in Washington divided on whether Trump should lead.
I don't believe that he should be playing a role in the future of the party or the country.
Other Republicans, including Louisiana's Bill Cassidy, who voted to convict Trump, saying this conference and Trump do not represent the whole party. Mary Alice Parks, ABC News, Washington.
And time now is 5:07 and 55 degrees for now.
Well, still ahead, Verizon recommending customers turn off their 5G internet access on smartphones. We'll tell you why.
And also up next, a closer look at a group of local cosmetology students finally getting to do in-person learning again.
Outside with live cam, we are in the first day of the month of March. It usually starts to feel a bit more like spring around here, including showers or storms. How wet will it be today? Mike's coming up with the details. Good morning and welcome back to GMSA on your Monday morning. Cosmetology students enrolled at Edgewood ISD's Fine Arts Academy say they're not letting COVID-19 turn their world into an ugly place.
Students were forced out of the classroom for months, but they're back and ready to make up for lost time. Our Stephen Cavazos shows us how they're blending into a new environment.
For people in the cosmetology industry, their job became more challenging and at times risky, which is why these students are learning more than just how to give people that extra beauty boost, but how to keep everybody safe. Holly Yates is a cosmetology instructor here at Edgewood ISD's Fine Arts Academy. Yates says virtual learning was difficult for some of her students, which is why she wanted to make sure when they came back, the classroom was up to learning standards and safety protocols. Before even entering the class, students must sanitize and wash their hands. Yates showed us around. Salon chairs have been spaced 6 feet apart and social distance, that is enforced. Stations are sanitized between classes and students must disinfect the area before leaving. Masks must be worn at all times, and instead of real clients, they're using mannequins. Yates tells us COVID-19 created many challenges in the world of beauty, but her students aren't giving up on their goals.
The main thing we do is encourage them. Don't give up. We will not let COVID defeat us. You have to do this. We're going to do it together. We're in it together.
Currently, there is only a small group of students that are learning in person. Yates hopes as things improve, more will come back. However, she says virtual learning is not easy for some of her students. Now, coming up later on GMSA, we'll speak to one of those students who shares with us how she's overcome those beauty barriers. Stephen Cavazos, KSAT 12 News.
12 minutes past the hour, 55 degrees.
And still ahead, why researchers are saying that looking at yourself too long can be exhausting.
Wow. And why Verizon is recommending its customers turn off the 5G access on their smartphones.
As a repairman, I hear a lot of folks say they feel like they have to rinse off dirty dishes like these before loading them into the dishwasher. But new Cascade Platinum changes all that.
New Cascade Platinum with 50% more cleaning power. It dissolves fast to start cleaning sooner, releasing the soaking power of Dawn. Then, Cascade's food-seeking enzymes latch on and break down food into particles so small they can flow right down the drain.
And it's powerful enough for the quick wash cycle.
New Cascade Platinum with 50% more cleaning power. The #1 brand just got better. Psst, psst.
Allergies don't have to be scary. Spraying Flonase daily stops your body from overreacting to allergens all season long. Psst, psst, you're good.
How did Kellogg's combine crunchy oat clusters with a touch of honey, plump, juicy raisins, and tasty fiber into one delicious cereal? It took a lot of brandstorming. Get it? Kellogg's Raisin Bran Crunch. 2 scoops of delicious.
5:15, welcome back. Verizon advising people on Twitter to turn off 5G access on their phones. ABC's Kenneth Moten has details in today's Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, Verizon's battery saving advice. The carrier tweeted that if your batteries are draining faster than normal, you should switch to LTE, essentially turning off 5G access to your phone. The tweet raised questions because Verizon spent $45 billion to launch the next generation network last year. Facebook is rolling out a new experimental app for aspiring rappers. The new app called Bars is being compared to TikTok. Users can write, record, and share their own raps using professional beats and visual effects. The videos can be up to 60 seconds long. Finally, Zoom fatigue explained. A Stanford researcher says there are 4 main reasons why constant video conferencing can be taxing. One main reason is the unnatural amount of eye contact during a call. He recommends using a smaller Zoom window and reducing full screen use. Those are your Tech Bites. Have a great day.
Wow. Zoom fatigue? I mean, that applies to just about everyone these days.
Yeah,
right?
But it's funny watching my little girl on Zoom. Sometimes the kids get focused on themselves instead of the lesson, like their hair, just messing around with things, or looking at the other kids.
I can't even imagine what this last year has been like for kids in that setting. I mean, it's really changed the way we learn. The question is, where do we go from here when we get them back into a safe classroom setting on a wide scale?
Yeah.
How do they adjust to that?
It'll be interesting because even the kids who are in person in school, they're still having to open their laptops and be in a Zoom class.
Setting too.
Yeah.
Strange times, folks. 5:17, let's check the road. Samuel standing by with an update.
Good morning, guys. Good to see you again. And looking at the maps, things look pretty good right now. Not much going on the roadways, and kind of a lull in those showers here, so that's good. So let's take a look at travel time. This is 37 between 1604 and I-10, 12 minutes each way, so that is looking good. And here's a look at TransGuide 35 at Evans Traffic Building, but still flowing well, as is 281 at the river, guys.
Great news at 5:18, Mike Osterhage.
I was wondering about that. In the classroom, but still on a computer.
Yes. They have to bring their iPads. Actually, well, in her grade, it's like their iPads, and they have to report to school with their iPad, and they're in the same Zoom class. So sometimes, you see the kids at home that they're at home, you can tell, and the kids at school are all, wearing
masked up.
Masks.
Huh. Isn't that kind of like being at a live sporting event, but watching it on TV?
It sounds like
It's kind of like that.
Okay, like when you're at Jury World, you're just watching the screen instead of the
Exactly. It's going on right down there, folks. All right. Saturday night was the actual full moon, and it's in the waning stages now. We're not going to be seeing much of a moon today, nor sunrise or sunset with all the clouds hanging around here. But in the next couple of days, we should see a lot more of the sunrises and sunsets and moonrises. Out there at the airport, looks like the road is, well, not bad, fairly dry, a couple little wet spots here and there. We've been seeing a few scattered showers. It's not everywhere, of course. It's very, very broken. Here in town, it's just a few scattered ones, but that doesn't mean we're not going to be seeing. We've still got a long way to go throughout the rest of the morning commute, and we will continue to see more of this rain. The majority of it is well up there to the north, a couple of decent cells moving through Fredericksburg right now. And then also, These few cells moving into Bandera County and then back out here in between Uvalde and Sabinal. We'll have to watch out. They've been trying to develop and then sort of dying, not really getting going. And that's been the situation overnight. And that's the reason why the severe threat has pretty much been taken out of the forecast. That was the concern yesterday, but we've just got this lid on the atmosphere. You got to get these storms to develop and break through that and continue to lift up. And that's just not happening with this lid in the atmosphere. So therefore, now we will still see a couple of scattered thunderstorms around this morning and throughout the first portion of the day, but not a whole lot. It'll be kind of few and far between. All right, dew point temperatures throughout the rest of the week. We had the front move through overnight. It's really pleasant out there, unlike yesterday, which was getting a little bit on the humid side. And we will keep lower dew points throughout the first half of the week. But then by Friday, it's going to start to come back up. We warm up on Friday and then just sort of put things in check as far as another front, not a big front, but it'll just sort of get rid of some of that humidity coming in here for the weekend. So right now the weekend is setting up very, very nice. Obviously a lot of clouds hanging around here, and we had the front move through overnight, but still a lot of that lingering rain in behind it. And yes, that is some snow up there in the Panhandle, and no, do not worry about that. None of that's coming around here. We will stay on the cool side, however, throughout the rest of today, and then follow this all the way up to the northeast, and there's a lot going up there. But off to the west of us, once we get past some of this rain this morning, this is what's in store. Not much for the next couple of days. Good news, bad news. Good news, we've got a lot of sunshine. Bad news, we don't have anything, and we're not getting a whole lot of rain from this event. Maybe some, localized decent rainfall amounts, but not anything widespread. And then for the rest of the week, there's just no rain in the forecast. 52 degrees today at noon. Showers, a couple of thunderstorms still left over around the area. Temperatures will drop down a few degrees in the next few hours and then come back only to 55. That'll be it later on this afternoon. Still a leftover shower primarily off to the east. The showers will continue to end from west to east throughout the rest of the day. We'll have some clouds overnight and starting off tomorrow, and then we can make it up to 62 in the afternoon. Still below normal. Normal high is right now 70, and then we continue into the mid 60s on Wednesday, mid 70s by Friday, a little more humidity, and then that gets trimmed off slightly by the weekend. So right now it looks like a pretty nice looking weekend.
Well, hopefully that does it for the winter weather for this season. I'm hoping. If I could find some real wood around here, I know. I was gonna say,
yes.
Knock on Formica.
I remember 1 month ago today, I had said, February always seems to be squirrely.
Oh, it was definitely squirrely this year.
We were cautious going into February, that's for sure. Yeah. 522, 55 degrees.
And coming up next in your morning spotlight, a look back at some of the biggest moments during last night's Golden Globe Awards.
Here are your lottery numbers. First, though, as we go to break, pick 3, 8, 5, 1, Fireball 9. Daily 4 numbers 2, 1, 7, 5, Fireball 0.
Cash 5, 7, 8, 11, 23, 31. And Lotto Texas 5, 17, 23, 35, 41, 54. And your Powerball numbers 2, 28, 31, 44, 52, Powerball 18, Power Play 3. Good luck.
Now to a look at the big winners last night's 78th Golden Globe Awards.
CNN's David Daniel has the highlights from the socially distanced ceremony.
Even with stupid things, inclusivity is important, and there are no black members of the Hollywood Foreign Press.
Hosts Tina Fey in New York and Amy Poehler in Los Angeles began the 78th Golden Globe Awards chiding the HFPA, which promised a more inclusive future. Then gave the night's first 2 awards to black actors, Daniel Kaluuya for Judas and the Black Messiah and John Boyega for Small Axe.
Oh my God, are you kidding me? I think you made a mistake.
No mistake, Jodie Foster won her first competitive Golden Globe in nearly 30 years, Best Motion Picture Supporting Actress for The Mauritanian.
Thank you, CBC, for making the show in Canada. Thank you, a Pop Network, for... Seriously.
Catherine O'Hara's husband, Bo Welch, played her off as she accepted Best Actress in a TV Musical or Comedy for Schitt's Creek, which also won Best TV Series Musical or Comedy. Also winning a pair of big awards, Nomadland, Best Motion Picture Drama, and Best Director for Chloe Zhao, just the second woman to win that award. Borat subsequent movie film, Best Motion Picture Musical or Comedy, and Best Actor for Sacha Baron Cohen. And The Queen's Gambit, Best TV Movie or Limited Series, and Best Actress in that category for Anya Taylor-Joy.
What? Thank you so much.
Emma Corrin's win kicked off a huge night for The Crown. She, Josh O'Connor, and Gillian Anderson all won Golden Globes for the series, which was also named Best TV Series Drama.
I love all of you so much, and just
Andra Day was overcome, winning Best Actress in a Motion Picture Drama for The United States versus Billie Holiday. And possibly the night's most emotional moment came when Chadwick Boseman's widow accepted his award for Best Actor in a Motion Picture Drama for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom.
he would thank God. He would thank his parents. He would thank his ancestors for their guidance and their sacrifices.
In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Chadwick Boseman. I mean, can you imagine what was yet to come in his amazing career? He'd already done so much.
I know. Yeah, it was very, I mean, it kind of just brings it all up again. It was very sad when he passed away. And once again.
Such a loss. 5:28, 55 degrees on your Monday.
And it's official. The U.S. has 3 approved COVID-19 vaccines. Up next, we're going to take a closer look at what the timeline is and when it comes to getting that vaccine out to the public.
Plus, we're taking a closer look at the history behind one of the most recognizable Texas icons. That would be the Alamo.
And Nestle is out with a new way to disco your chocolate chip cookies.
Good morning, everybody. It's Monday. It is March 1st. If you watch any of our newscasts this weekend, they were talking about a chance of some showers and storms, particularly this morning.
That's right. I saw some rain when I came in this morning, but maybe not as powerful as I was expecting, Mike.
A lot really changed overnight. Even going into yesterday evening, there was still that potential threat, but that pretty much went out the window just because the way the atmosphere never really allowed things to develop. Now, we still do have some rain around. Out there at 10 at 4:10, looks like things are fairly dry. We haven't seen a whole heck of a lot so far this morning. Temperature right now is at 55. Wind is out of the north at 16. It is fairly breezy out there. And that number, the dew point temperature, which was about 25 degrees higher yesterday. So drier air has come in. It's much more comfortable this morning. Now, we do still have rain, so a rain jacket is a pretty good idea this morning as well as throughout the day because temperatures, what they are right now, really aren't going anywhere. We'll drop a little bit and then just about bounce back right where we are right now. So we do have a couple of areas basically to the east and to the west where some of this rain is. In the middle, not much of it. A lot out in northern portions of the hill country, and all of any sort of activity or potentially stronger storms is going to be staying up there to the north. But notice how this line has really started to sort of come together just in the past couple of hours. And just when you think that some of these, they turn red, some heavier downpours, maybe develop into thunderstorms, they sort of the lid gets put on them, gets kind of beaten down, if you will. And so that's why, yes, we will see a couple of thunderstorms, but not anything really widespread, although this rain will continue to work its way to the east throughout the rest of this morning. So, yeah, it will be a damp commute. And again, it is breezy out there. We have some wind gusts, 25, 30 miles per hour. It's going to be breezy throughout the rest of the day. Molds on the high side, mountain cedar ash are low, and a couple of showers, a few thunderstorms. Cool and breezy, and then it stays chilly, only mid-50s, breezy. A couple of showers, but rain will continue to end from west to east as the day rolls on. Mostly sunny tomorrow, still cool-ish. We'll make it into the low 60s, but we'll have more sunshine, so it'll feel better. And then we are going to be warming up the rest of the week. Plenty of sunshine. Weekend forecast coming up. Traffic Authority, Samuel King, and so far, just started to speak.
You're
Look at your
about
map.
to say something, Mike, but yes, we do have a crash here. This is I-10 eastbound or southbound at Camp Bullis Road, north of the rim there, so you can see not causing too many delays yet on I-10, but we'll keep an eye on it. Here's a look at the travel time on I-10 between Bernie and downtown, 25 minutes each direction. Between Bernie and 1604 right now, 14 minutes each direction, so that's still flowing well. I'm looking at some other travel times across the region, 26 minutes still on 35 coming in from New Braunfels. Half an hour coming in from I-10 on Seguin. As Mike mentioned, there is some rain to the east, so watch out for that. And here's a look at TransGuide in the area. Again, some of the cameras were showing a little dampness or wet weather earlier, but we see here at 281 at Almost, you can still see some little light lens on the cameras, so folks, take it easy if you're out and about this morning. Mark, Stephanie, over to you.
Thank you, Samuel. It's official. The U.S. now has 3 authorized COVID-19 vaccines.
And as CNN's Britt Conway reports, it comes at what could be a pivotal time as recent declines in new cases may be leveling out.
First, it was Pfizer-BioNTech, then Moderna, and now Johnson & Johnson.
It's very good news. Now we have 3 important tools against this virus.
Saturday, the Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine got emergency use authorization from the Food and Drug Administration. Sunday, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention gave their thumbs up. And by Sunday night, nearly 4 million doses were starting to ship out. It'll start getting into arms as early as Tuesday. This vaccine can be kept at regular refrigerator temperature, and it only takes 1 dose. In U.S. trials, it's considered 72% effective, with 86% protection against severe forms of COVID-19. Not as high as Pfizer and Moderna, but medical experts say you can't really compare them.
It's hard to compare them side by side because they were tested at different times.
Getting a third vaccine right now is critical. In a statement, the CDC director said it comes at a, quote, potentially pivotal time. CDC's latest data suggests that recent declines in COVID-19 cases may be stalling and potentially leveling off at still very high numbers, something other health experts are worried about too. And if history is any indication,
if we do this and start coming up, then we're going to go right back to the road of rebounding.
This is not the time to relax restrictions. We've got to get through the next couple of months.
And get as many people vaccinated as possible. I'm Britt Conway reporting.
Other headlines this morning: Syrian air defenses were activated in the capital of Damascus and its southern suburbs last night to repel an Israeli missile attack. Israel views Iranian entrenchment on its northern frontier as a red line, and it has repeatedly struck Iran-linked facilities and weapons convoys meant for Lebanon's militant Hezbollah group. The attack comes after the United States launched airstrikes in Syria on Thursday, targeting facilities near the Iraqi border used by Iranian-backed militia groups. The Pentagon said the strikes were retaliation for a rocket attack in Iraq earlier this month last month, that killed 1 civilian contractor and wounded a U.S. service member and other coalition troops.
The iconic Inca site Machu Picchu will reopen to tourists today. The Peruvian government had to close it early in February to prevent the spread of COVID-19. Machu Picchu will be allowed to reopen with up to 40% occupancy, which means a maximum of nearly 900 tourists a day. Visitors will be required to wear face coverings and maintain social distance.
Here at home, there's a new documentary called Living in My Skin, where we heard from 33 black men living in San Antonio.
Our Max Massey spoke to one of the co-executive directors, Brandon Logan, in this week's Leading Essay.
Yes, we talked about the documentary, the hope that it had a lasting effect on the Alamo City, the impact of Black History Month, and we also talked about efforts to help education programs in San Antonio's inner city. Take a listen to what Brandon Logan had to say.
If we can have, this system that is focused on education, parent, and health, we'll have the ability to have these interconnecting locks that can help to lift these individuals up and out through a social vehicle that will help affect the future generations.
This is just a small piece of our full interview that we had on Leading SA this weekend. If you want to check out the full conversation, head to the Leading SA section of KSAT.com. We'll see you next Sunday. Guys, back to you.
5:38, 55 degrees.
And still ahead, how Nestle is making it easier to make your chocolate chip cookies a little more fabulous.
And up next, to preview our latest in-depth look into the history of the Alamo and how some are wanting its history retold.
And taking a look outside with live cam this morning, a little cooler, a little crisper than it was this weekend, most definitely, and some rain. We will be checking in with Mike later today.
.41 for the past several years, there's been a battle brewing over how the Alamo's history is told. It's the topic of this week's episode of KSAT Explains.
From criticism that the story of the 1836 battle has been distorted by myths, to those who want to shine a light on what happened at the mission prior to the Texas Revolution, Myra Arthur gives us a preview.
It is one of the most well-known historic sites in the United States, and it's located in the heart of downtown San Antonio, the Alamo. The Spanish mission was built more than 100 years before the start of the Texas Revolution, but it's perhaps best known for the battle that happened on its grounds in 1836. The Alamo has been depicted in film and television for more than 100 years.
The movies make it bigger than life.
But recently, headlines about the Alamo have focused on the controversy over plans for its future, and the topic has become a political lightning rod, raising questions about whose stories stories are prioritized and how when talking about the past.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Keep it how it is. Just a few phrases shouted out by angry people today listening to a presentation about changing the layout of Alamo Plaza.
The Tepilam Pualhuitecan Nation filed against the Texas General Land Office, Alamo Trust, and the city of San Antonio. Tepilam believes the Alamo site is a cemetery where American Indians are buried, so it should be officially recognized as such.
In this week's episode of KSAT Explains, we're talking about the history and the legacy of the Alamo, as well as the battle over how the historic mission is remembered.
And time now is 5:42 and 55 degrees for now.
Up next, we'll tell you what San Antonio city leaders say is one of the easiest ways to be green and promote sustainable living. In your morning consumer headlines, as if Nestle's classic Toll House chocolate chip cookies aren't radical enough by themselves, they now have edible glitter. The new Disco chocolate baking chips answers the eternal question you never knew you wanted answered. What if Studio 54 in New York had an oven? They add a sense of pizzazz and sparkle to any dessert. But even with the glitter effect, the delicious morsels are still 100% chocolate. You can find the Disco morsels on sale now at retailers like Walmart for around $2.50. The 5.5-ounce bag will provide you enough sparkly goodness to beautify 24 cookies.
I know my daughter will be all over that.
Oh, yeah, that's all about ruining right there.
Yes. And the FDA has authorized a new device that could help reduce the risk of traumatic brain injuries in sports like football. The Q collar, which was given the green light by the FDA, is a C-shaped device that fits around the back and the side of the neck. In clinical studies, the Q collar appears to protect an athlete's brain from the effects of repetitive head impacts. The product does not demonstrate the ability to prevent concussions or more serious health injuries. However, the Q-collar device is, in addition, not a replacement to existing protective athletic equipment and will be available over the counter.
We have previously learned on GMSA about the importance of composting.
City leaders have told KSAT that it is one of the easiest ways to be green and promote sustainable living. Now, while that sentiment still exists, not everything can be composted, and some of those items may be marketed in a confusing way, causing your compost to be left on the curb instead of the city picking it up. So one of those is the green bags you can buy at the store. Nick Gallis with the Solid Waste Management Department says that the color does not always mean it is compostable.
There's also biodegradable bags that are green, and we don't want biodegradable bags because actually when they break down, they leave a chemical trace, and that's not something that we want in our compost.
Later on GMSA, we will hear about easier, foolproof ways to compost here in San Antonio. To learn more or to find out how to get a green cart from the city, you can head to our website at ksat.com.
Well, from green carts to green lights, we hope. Let's check on traffic with Samuel King. Good morning.
Yeah, things are looking better, Mark and Stephanie, here on the roads. A lot of green, as you mentioned, so that seems to be the color of the segment. We did have a crash here, an off-ramp at I-10 at Camp Bullis Road, just north of the rim, but that appears to have been cleared, so we can take that off the board. On the south side here, this is 410 between Palo Alto and 37. 7 minutes each direction. The travel speed looking fine there this morning, so that's good. And here's a look at Transky 35 at Thousand Oaks. Traffic starting to build, of course, everyone, but not too bad at the moment. We'll see if that continues.
Thank you, Samuel.
Good news for Monday.
Great picture. Remember, was it last week? We had the shot of the 3 kids that were lying in the grass, one in the snow, and then they were just in shorts and no T-shirts or anything like that. Similar picture here from last week. Taylor McClellan always takes the great shots around Woodlawn Lake. Would you ever guess that top picture was Woodlawn Lake?
No,
absolutely not.
More like Minnesota.
Yes, something like that up there in the UP of Michigan. But yeah, same view. That's amazing looking. Thank you very much for that. And the bottom picture, by the way, is what we're going to be seeing more of this week, not the top one.
Good.
Again.
Thank you.
Right now, 410 over there by the airport still looks fairly dry. We do have a little bit of light rain, but as you can see, there's not a heck of a lot here in town. We do have a few more showers off to the east and then more sliding or developing off to the west. But again, it's broken just scattered about the area. Just a few of these light little showers. Just to assume the roads are damp this morning. So just kind of take it easy. Allow yourself a little extra time. And got a few more of these cells moving through, say, Kerrville, up north of Fredericksburg. And just when it looks like something's trying to develop, it just doesn't get going. There's no, we haven't seen any lightning strikes around here. And that was the situation overnight. Of course, yesterday there was the concern that we might have some severe weather. There was the marginal risk posted for most of the area yesterday from the Storm Prediction Center. But that all went out the window overnight because we just couldn't get anything going. The atmosphere never really allowed anything, or is not allowing anything to really develop. Now, we do have a few of these showers that are moving into Medina County, just in south of Hondo, but nothing as far as any thunderstorms. There is the slight chance for that throughout the morning hours, but it's not going to be very widespread. Yesterday, it was very warm. Got up to 75 degrees. Normal high is 70, 83 Pleasanton, 84 in Cotulla. Whole different story today. Temperatures are going to be about, say, 20, 25 degrees cooler than what they were yesterday. So we are going to be about 15 degrees below normal, only in the mid 50s all around the area in behind this front that moved on through. And you can see exactly where this front is. Stretches all the way from the mid-Atlantic states down towards, say, New Orleans. And that's it as far as temperatures today, and a lot of freezing readings there. But we're not going to get that cold. This will be about it. We are going to be, now we'll get colder tomorrow night just because we're not going to have a cloud cover on top of us, and actually may actually see a couple of freezing readings in portions of the hill country by tomorrow night. But overnight tonight, it's just going to stay fairly steady. But that's the other thing with today, though. Temperatures are pretty much going to be staying steady because of the cloud cover, a little bit of rain out there, and the cooler air trying to move on in here. So we will drop down a couple of more degrees this morning and then start to rebound up to 52 degrees by noon and then top off at 55. A couple of showers left over. Most of the rain, though, is going to continue to end from west to east as the day rolls on. And I think those kind of straggling few showers are just going to be off to the east of us. Then we go into the next couple of days and we'll have temperatures a little bit below normal tomorrow morning, make it up to 62 tomorrow. We'll still be almost 10 below normal, but more sunshine is going to make it feel a lot more comfortable. And then tomorrow night into Wednesday, that's going to be our coldest morning, down to 37 degrees. And that's when we may actually see freezing in portions of the hill country just because of the clear skies and that really, really dry air. Make it up to 67 Wednesday, back to the 70s the end of the week. And Friday is going to be the warm day, up into the mid 70s. A few more clouds around here. And another front's going to move through then late Friday. Not a big one, but any return of the humidity is going to get pushed on out of here. And so looks like another good-looking weekend is going to be setting up, but not as humid as this past weekend. Well, it was getting kind of a little warm yesterday.
Yeah, It got really warm after that warm front came through over the weekend. It got tropical out there, but quite a change this morning. Thank you, Mike.
Yep.
Right now, 5:52, 54 degrees.
And a pair of familiar friends dominate the weekend at the movies. Your weekend box office report coming up next.
Your pick 3 numbers: 851 Fireball 9, Daily 4 2175 Fireball 0.
Cash 5, 7, 8, 11, 23, 31. Lotto Texas 5, 17, 23, 35, 41, 54. And your Powerball numbers: 2, 28, 31, 44, 52. Powerball 18, Power Play 3. Good luck.
The Marksman stayed in 5th place, rounding up $700,000.
You can save the world.
In 4th place, Wonder Woman 1984 made $710,000.
Why is that? Why is that?
The Little Things fell to 3rd place on ticket sales of $925,000.
Isn't it strange how this food grows in perfectly straight...
The Croods, A New Age, lost the top spot, but $1.2 million gave the animated sequel 2nd place and a domestic total of $52 million.
I will not let this hotel be ruined by a cat and a mouse!
Tom and Jerry clobbered the competition. The big screen adventure of TV's cat and mouse duo debuted with $13.7 million, the biggest opening weekend since Wonder Woman 1984 premiered with $16.7 million back in December. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
KSAT Community teaming up with local nonprofits to help San Antonians recover from the aftermath of last month's winter storms. Right now on our website, we have a list of city services available for people who need aid. And if you're in a position to help others, we also have a list of organizations you could donate to. You can find it all on ksatcommunity.com. Glad you're with us this morning. Many people across South Texas still trying to get their homes and pipes fixed after February's winter storms. Up next, more details about a group of plumbers from California who are in the Alamo City to help people free of charge. Let's check TransGuide as we go to break, as we typically do. Approaching the top of the hour, 410 at Babcock. Traffic is picking up, looking like a normal commute out there. Could have been a soaker, but so far so good. We'll check in with Samuel and Mike coming up.
The local blood supply has been critically low. Good morning, I'm Sarah Acosta. In just a bit, we'll tell you about how you can do your part and roll up your sleeve in a KSAT Community Blood Drive.
As students return to school, they're faced with overcoming the changes caused by pandemic guidelines. We'll hear how that impacts one local cosmetology student.
And taking a look outside with live cam this morning, we were expecting some downpours today, but it was a little rainy, just not as bad as I thought it would be. We were going to check in with Mike about the rain today.
Live from KSAT 12, Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
And good morning to you. It is Monday, March 1st. Good to have everybody back. We are safe and feeling good after a possible exposure here at KSAT. We had to sit out most of last week.
Yeah, it's great to be back. I missed you guys.
Yeah, we hate being on the sidelines, but thanks to David and Sarah and Alicia for filling in last week.
Yeah, it was fun to see them too, but we were like waving from afar. Hi, guys.
Yes.
Hi, guys.
Well, let's check on the forecast. There was a discussion over the weekend about potential problems for this morning, but as we said at the end of before the break, so far so good.
Yeah, the big question was whether there was this, as we call it, a cap in the atmosphere, whether it could break. And if it broke, then we'd get some fairly strong storms. It never broke overnight. And so that's why, and we're even seeing that this morning where these storms are trying to develop and then all of a sudden they just sort of.
So the lid's firmly in place.
The lid is firmly in place. We do still have some rain around the area. There's not much out there at 410 by the airport. Looks like the road is fairly dry. We've had a couple of little sprinkly showers around here, and it's very scattered. And notice how even off to the west, where there looked like there were a couple of those maybe potentially storms that were trying to develop, just never got going so far this morning. Just a few scattered showers, especially on the east side of town as of right now. Most of the rain has been up to the north, and as you can see just north of that banner, there's a couple of thunderstorms that are showing up, but there's nothing as far as any thunderstorms that have been showing up around here. And even these storms look like these areas of rain looked like they might have tried to develop into some storms, but just they couldn't get going this morning, and that's going to be the situation. Now, the other thing, though, that is definitely the situation is it's breezy out there. We've got winds that are gusting about 25, 30 miles per hour. It is going to be breezy throughout the day, and those northerly winds in behind this front that moved on through here are going to continue to keep us on the cool side. Mold is high, mountain cedar and ash are both low, and throughout the rest of today, temperatures will drop down a couple of degrees. We're at 54 right now, a couple of degrees in the next few hours, and then bottom out by about 10 o'clock and then start to come back up. But it's not going to be a huge bounce back. We'll only make it back up to right around the mid-50s later on today. It's still going to be on the breezy side today. A couple of showers are going to be possible, but the rain will continue to end from west to east throughout the rest of the day. It's going to stay cool tomorrow, but we'll have a lot more sunshine. Then we get back up on the warm side by the end of the week. All those details coming up in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, Samuel King, and the potential was there and is still there to have a mess this morning, but I mean, looks pretty good, right?
Yeah, it looks pretty good. Good to see you, Mike. I was wondering if it was something I said to everybody while they were all gone last week, but here we are. Everyone's back. We're all back together, and things, as Mike mentioned, looking fine on the roads this morning. You see the breeze there at the 410 and Morrison camp, so watch out for that too, especially in the high-profile vehicles. But looking at the map, everything looks okay at the moment. We'll keep an eye on it, and let's take a look at the north side now. 281, 8 minutes going southbound from Bulverde Road to 1604, 7 minutes the other way, and coming all the way in from Bulverde, 27 minutes, 24 minutes coming in from Bernie on I-10, 26 minutes on 35, 30 minutes from Seguin, 28 minutes from the Pleasanton area on 37. And we'll have another update in just a bit. Mark, Stephanie, over to you.
Thank you, Samuel. New this morning, San Antonio police are still looking for a shooter on the south side. It happened yesterday evening around 9 in the 1200 block of Pleasanton. Police tell us it started as an argument between two men. They say the two had a working relationship but started to argue over an unpaid debt. That's when police say one of the men pulled out a gun, shot the other in the back, and ran off. The victim was taken to Bancy and is expected to survive.
This morning, we now know the name of a man that Bexar County Sheriff's deputies took into custody after a standoff yesterday in far west Bexar County. According to an arrest affidavit, 55-year-old Salvador Gonzalez was arrested at the scene yesterday. Sheriff Javier Salazar told us Gonzalez was armed with a rifle in the 2800 block of High Castle. Sheriff says the man was likely suffering from symptoms of PTSD. Gonzalez is now facing a charge of aggravated assault of a public servant, according to that affidavit.
To the pandemic, local health officials are reporting 318 new cases of COVID-19 in Bexar County. They also report a backlog of 491 cases and 150 deaths from last December to February 10th. 447 people are still hospitalized in Bexar County. Mayor Ron Nirenberg says we should get an updated 7-day rolling average today. We did not get an update all last week because of the winter storms preventing accurate testing and case data.
Well, Edgewood ISD students are learning new ways to adapt in the world of cosmetology.
Students at the district's Fine Arts Academy are back in the classroom, but with safety protocols that are strictly enforced.
Our Stephen Cavazza spoke with one student who shares how she is pushing past those beauty barriers.
Well, things took an ugly turn in the world of beauty when COVID-19 began to spiral out of control last spring. But for these cosmetology students, they're not letting these new barriers stop them from pushing forward. Here at the Fine Arts Academy, the school salon had adjusted their safety protocols, including social distancing, mask wearing, and proper hygiene. We met Jenica Avila, who is a junior and says this is her third year enrolled in the cosmetology class. Avila says the hands-on experience is what she enjoyed most. But when the virus forced students out of the classroom, they had to learn online. She calls it challenging, and when the opportunity to return to class, that is, became an option, she was happy to do it. Avila says the safety protocols make her feel better about coming to school.
Well, we're going to have to adjust to it one way or another, and I think it's best to do it safely and, of course, keep everyone safe so that way we can get on with this. And so that way salons can pick back up, so other businesses can start up, and it'd just be such a relief to everyone.
Cosmetology instructor Holly Yates hopes her students will not only feel safe, but encouraged to push past those barriers and achieve their dreams. Now, currently, there is only a small group of students that have returned to class, but the school hopes as things improve, more students will come back. Stephen Cavazos, KSAT 12 News.
Well, many people across South Texas are still trying to get their homes repaired after February's winter storms, and many of those repairs are taking a lot longer than expected because of a shortage of plumbers in our area. That's why one group of plumbers traveled from California to the Alamo City to help people on our west side free of charge. One of the master plumbers is a San Diego coffee shop owner. David Chaddock created a GoFundMe to buy supplies, loaded them in a U-Haul, and drove I-10 all the way into town.
We got the skill set, we got the means, we got the community to raise money for this, and let's go out there and try to be a solution to the problem.
Chaddock and others are going back to the West Coast this week, but he says they will leave knowing they made a difference to the people of San Antonio.
Thousands of families have enough food for a week thanks to a weekend food giveaway event. It was hosted by Health Collaborative yesterday. They collect food and give it to smaller organizations or groups around the city. The goal is to make sure families who can't make it to massive food distribution events can still get the help they need. Each box includes milk, beans, produce, and fruit. And yesterday, the group handed out 50,000 boxes.
Was because definitely a lot of people being affected by the winter storms. Many of them still don't have enough food for groceries. You know, they had lost all of their groceries because of the winter freeze. So again, this is where we really want to make sure that we're using our partners throughout all of Bexar County.
And families in the Edgewood ISD area also received food boxes.
KSAT and our community partner University Health encouraging everyone to make a difference and help donate blood if possible. And you can do so today at our KSAT Community Blood Drive at the Whitty Museum. Sarah Costa is live downtown this morning with more on why the blood need continues to be critical. Sarah?
Good morning, Mark. Yeah, and that need That blood supply is critically low right now across the country and here in San Antonio because of the pandemic and also as a result of February's winter storms. In the U.S., every 2 seconds, someone is in need of blood, and 21 million blood products are transfused every year. And you can do your part by rolling up your sleeve with the physicians at University Health. We are taking part of a community blood drive right now. Physicians with University Health have stressed that COVID-19 has created more challenges for blood drives and decreased the donor pool because of social distancing, or people are sick and aren't able to donate, or people are having to quarantine. They also haven't been able to have the regularly scheduled blood drives at schools or businesses. But you can do your part today and tomorrow by going online right now at ksatcommunity.com and scheduling your appointment. The drive will be going on at the Whitty from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Everyone who donates at the Whitty in this blood drive will receive a complimentary pass to its special expedition, The Machine Inside Biomechanics. And of course, it's not just the need for blood in our community right now. People are still suffering from February's winter storm. Also, if you go onto ksatcommunity.com, you'll find a full list of how KSAT and our community partners are helping out all of those nonprofits that are helping those still recovering from February's winter storms. Live near downtown, I'm Sarah Acosta, KSAT 12 News. Mark and Stephanie.
Thank you, Sarah. Time now is 6:10 and 55 degrees for now.
Golden Globes honor the mantra, the show must go on last night. We'll see top moments from the socially distanced extravaganza.
And anyone with a new Verizon phone may notice their battery running out rather quickly, but see why some Verizon customers are frustrated with the company's solution.
Outside with live cam. Yeah, you might need that umbrella today. Maybe a light jacket. We're on the cooler side after a warm, muggy weekend. Mike's first full week of March forecast coming up. You a Verizon customer? Listen up. They have new battery saving advice. The carrier tweeted that if your batteries are draining faster than normal, you should switch to LTE, essentially turning off 5G access to your phone. The tweet raised questions because Verizon spent like $45 billion to launch the next generation network just last year.
And Zoom fatigue now has an official explanation. And Stanford researcher says there are 4 main reasons why constant video conferencing can be so taxing. One main reason is the unnatural amount of eye contact during a call. He recommends using a smaller Zoom window and reducing full screen use. The other reasons are constantly watching videos of yourself, being stuck at your desk, and more energy being spent on social cues you would normally pick up during in-person conversations.
Interesting. Well, Facebook rolling out a new experimental app for aspiring rappers. The new app, called Bars, is being compared to TikTok. Users can write, record, and share their own rap using professional beats and visual effects. Videos can be up to 60 seconds long.
Another timeless treasure has been unearthed near Italy. Archaeologists say they have found a ceremonial chariot made of bronze and tin in excellent condition. Excavators say they've discovered chariots before, but none like this one. They say it's another clue to what life was like in Pompeii before it was buried in volcanic ash 2,000 years ago.
Now, Mike's like, that's where I left it.
No.
Mike was born way after chariots. Spurs are back in action tonight. The final homestand before the NBA All-Star game. They'll take on the Brooklyn Nets tonight at 7:30 at the AT&T Center. Watch the game on Fox Sports Southwest or catch highlights tomorrow right here on GMSA.
Mike's gleaming at you, but for now, let's check in with Samuel to look at the roads.
Glaring.
Yes.
Now he's gleaming. Samuel, good morning.
Good morning. You guys okay over there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We're good. I just missed him, that's all.
Right. A week of pent up love and affection.
Feistiness.
That too. Things looking fine here at 37 and Fair Avenue this morning, but we do have some wet roads picking up on our tool here on the southeast side at 37 and Loop 410 especially, so watch out for that this morning with the showers that Mike has been discussing. Looking at the travel times here, we're up 1 minute now, 13 minutes between on 37 between 1604 and I-10. And looking at the maps here, we do have a crash here close to 37. This is on Geaver, so we'll get a closer look at that coming up. And also looking at Bandera Road this morning, things looking fine. They had some delays earlier this morning, but right now 10 minutes each direction between 604 and 410, guys.
Thank you, Sam.
I have a question, though, since we're on a Zoom call, it looks like right now. So what is it? Too much eye contact?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what
causing fatigue.
That's what the researcher says.
So have we gotten to that point where because people text all the time, they have no eye contact?
Well,
I think it's just unnatural just staring at the screen for hours on. Some of these Zoom meetings can go on for a while.
That's true.
Toughest thing is when you start to talk to somebody, because, there's that delay.
Yeah,
That's
that happens
true.
a lot.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And I feel weird making eye contact with the camera versus looking straight at you since you're right to our left, but
That's difficult to do.
I know. Okay, stop it.
Anyway, as you're heading off to the bus this morning, make sure you do grab a coat because temperatures are coolish and it's that sort of damp cool. We've got all the showers around the area. Plus, it is on the windy side, 53 degrees. So we'll drop down just a couple of degrees this morning and really not rebound all that much. I mean, 55, that's going to be about it today. A couple of showers left over. Most of the rain, though, will continue to come to an end as the afternoon rolls on. This is a great picture from last week over there right around the Guadalupe, the moon in the Guadalupe, and just look at the line of trees right there. That's gorgeous. Thank you very much for that. All right, lots of clouds as you can see, and it looks like the road maybe a little bit on the damp side over there at 410 with the reflection of the headlights in the eastbound traffic going past the airport, but not too bad. And of course, keep talking about yesterday, there was the chance for and the threat for some potentially severe storms in the overnight hours and this morning, but we just have this cap in the atmosphere and it never really broke. So that's why nothing ever materialized in the overnight hours, and that's why the forecast did obviously change. We do have actually, this has been sort of filling in here off to the east around Gonzales and then north of there, the area of showers and a few moderate downpours as well. Here in town, there hasn't been too much, but we'll still continue to see a few of these scattered showers and even a few moderate downpours right there just north of Castroville. And we've been watching some of these cells in the past couple of hours where it looks like they're trying to develop and then nothing. They just can't get going because they keep running into that cap in the atmosphere. And so that's, again, the reason why we're not seeing a whole lot in the way of any sort of thunderstorms around the area. A few scattered showers left over off to the west, and that's pretty much about it. Computer model for the next, for the rest of the week, first week of March, we will have a few showers around here. And again, most everything, and this is sort of the trend to take away from this, is it's going to be working its way off to the east. And even by later on this afternoon in the evening hours, we still have a lot of clouds hanging around here, but the rain will continue again to end from west to east throughout the afternoon hours. Tomorrow we start off with clouds, some more sunshine in the afternoon. Still going to be on the coolish side tomorrow, but obviously it's going to feel warmer with more sunshine around here. That'll be the situation on Wednesday. We get progressively warmer as the week rolls on. A few more clouds hanging around here on Friday, and then another front's going to move on through here. So we warm up, and then that just kind of takes the edge off things as we go into the weekend, and the edge being humidity. So we see a return of the humidity by the end of the week, but that goes away by the weekend. So we're setting up for a really good looking weekend. 52 degrees today at noon. Temperatures will drop down a couple of more notches this morning and then rebound a little bit this afternoon. It's going to be dampish, especially in the first half of the day. It's going to be windy and only 55 degrees with all those clouds out there. Clouds starting off tomorrow, make it up to 62. It's going to be a cooler start tomorrow. And then the coolest morning is going to be Wednesday morning, down to 37. So we're looking at potential of close to freezing in parts of the hill country Wednesday morning, get up to 67 degrees. Then finally back up above normal Thursday, Friday, and back down to the upper 60s over the weekend. A couple of clouds, lower humidity this weekend.
Looking forward to a run of more normal weather for an extended stretch.
Now, temperature-wise, though, for the first half of the week is going to be below normal. Normal being 70 right now. So we'll only have those 2 days, Thursday, Friday, for above normal high temperatures this week.
So we're still working on it.
Right.
We're still working on normal.
Well, no complaints. It's not 9 degrees.
No complaints there. Yesterday was even
there is that.
Yeah.
I mean, it was 70 yesterday or 75 yesterday, and humid is like, ugh.
Yeah, I think I looked at one point, it was almost 80 degrees. Yeah. 621 this morning, 55 degrees.
And don't believe all that you see at the store. Later on GMSA, we're going to tell you why you should not buy those green compostable bags here in San Antonio.
Here's your secret word of the day. Enter it on KSAT.com/Circle K for a monthly chance to win free gas for a year. Every entry wins a medium coffee. Win with Circle K and GMSA.
Still your best friend, and now your co-pilot. Still a father, but now a friend. Still an electric car, just more electrifying. Still a night out, but everything fits in. Still hard work, just a little easier. Still a legend, just more legendary. Chevrolet, making life's journey just better.
Update your space with Macy's President's Day furniture and mattress specials, like the Radley Shea sectional for $1,879 and the Monroe Queen bed now $279. Plus, get a free adjustable base or box spring with qualifying purchase. Now at Macy's.
Cranky-pated, a bad mood related to a sluggish gut. Miralax is different. It works naturally with the water in your body to unblock your gut. Free your gut and your mood will follow.
The Hollywood Foreign Press Association held its annual star-studded Golden Globe Awards Sunday night.
It was an evening of celebration amid some controversy. ABC's George Pinocchio explains.
The Hollywood Foreign Press Association is made up of around 90 international no-black journalists.
Thank you to the all-white Hollywood Foreign Press.
Early in the show, Hollywood Foreign Press members addressed the controversy, saying black representation is vital. And beyond that,
we must also ensure everyone from all underrepresented communities gets a seat at our table. And we are going to make that happen.
Jodie Foster, who won the Best Supporting Actress Award for The Mauritanian, thinks this was a good first step.
It sounds like the HFDA is, open to change, and that's exciting.
Controversy aside, this is always an unpredictable award show. In this pandemic, winner Jason Sudeikis wore a hoodie promoting his sister's dance studio. On the other end of the scale, Best Actress in a Comedy winner Rosamund Pike.
You've got to express what it feels like, to be all dressed up with nowhere to go. And this dress just felt like whatever happened, I would have fun.
In the musical or comedy categories, Borat's subsequent movie film won the Best Motion Picture Prize and Best Actor for Sacha Baron Cohen.
Donald Trump is contesting the result.
On the drama side, Nomadland won Globes for Best Motion Picture Drama and Best Director, both awards for Chloe Zhao.
If this means more people like me get to live their dreams and get to do what I do, I'm happy.
Drama's top acting prizes went to Andra Day for The United States vs. Billie Holiday. It was her first lead role, certainly not her last.
I'd love to just work with great writers and producers and directors to get some of more of these stories of just people of color, women's stories, marginalized people off the ground.
The late Chadwick Boseman won for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. His widow accepted on his behalf.
He would thank God. He would thank his parents. He would thank his ancestors for their guidance and their sacrifices.
And in the television categories, The Crown made the biggest impact, winning 4 Globes, including Best Drama Series. In Los Angeles, George Pinocchio for ABC News.
What would you do in an awards show? Would you wear your pajamas or would you dress up?
What do you think?
Think you would dress up?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
It's your moment.
You guys had a chance to see us in our pajamas last week and it didn't happen. So we're just letting you know now, okay?
That's true.
You're welcome.
Time now 6:27 and 55 degrees for now.
Well, a new COVID-19 vaccine is ready to be delivered to communities across the country today. We'll get the latest on the Johnson & Johnson shot in our next half hour.
Police continue to search for the suspect this morning behind a shooting that happened last night on the south side. Good morning, I'm Sarah Acosta. What police say led up to this shooting.
There's a new vaccine available to Americans and it'll start shipping out as early as tomorrow. I'm Mike Ajachi in Washington. Coming up, we'll take a look at Johnson & Johnson's new single-shot dose.
Outside with live cam, showers in the area, no particular storms, and it's cooler for sure. We'll check in with Mike in just a moment. Good morning to you. It's Monday, March 1st.
Thanks for joining us this morning. Yeah, definitely cooler today. It was getting a little humid both mornings, Saturday and Sunday.
It was a super muggy weekend. We had some fog around, and then this morning everything's changed for a bit, and no strong to severe storms to deal with.
I know yesterday and even going into the evening hours, Sarah and Katie were talking about that. The atmosphere was just looking like there was the potential there, but we were never able to break this lid in the atmosphere, this cap that's out there. And so that's why the overnight, the chance of really seeing anything severe around here was taken out of the forecast. Right now, 55 degrees. This number has really dropped down 2 points, which were up in the almost 30 degrees warmer yesterday, up in the mid and upper 60s. It's dropped down, so it's much more comfortable out there. It is breezy, wind out of the north at 14 miles per hour. We do have a lot of rain around the area. It's just some broken, basically light showers. A lot of it has been materializing off to the east and to the northeast around Gonzales, sliding up toward 10. So if you're going out 10, you're going to run into plenty of this. And then a few of these scattered showers in and around town. You might as well just assume that the roads are on the damp side this morning, just because we do have these scattered showers around. They are going to continue throughout the next couple of hours. A few of them still out there to the west, and every time something is tried to develop, it's just been kind of chopped off. Nothing has really gotten going as far as any stronger storms or even any storms for that fact. No lightning strikes out there. Northerly wind at 14 miles per hour, but then we have the wind gust 35 Port SA, 32 out there at the airport, and 35 New Braunfels, and it is going to stay fairly breezy throughout the day. Molds on the high side, Mountain Cedar and Ash are both low. So it's going to be this morning showers, maybe a storm or two, cool and breezy, and then temperatures aren't going anywhere today. We'll stay in the mid 50s, and it is still going to be on the breezy to windy side. A couple of showers, but they will end from west to east. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, still cool, but more sunshine, obviously, so it's not going to feel as cool. And then we are going to be warming up toward the end of the week. Plenty of sunshine. Any return of humidity is going to go away by the weekend. Details coming up in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, Samuel King, and boy, you really haven't had a heck of a lot going on this morning.
No, things have been relatively quiet, considering that there are some showers in and around the area, Mike. So that's the good thing. Taking a look at TransGuide, this is 281 at Almost, looking fine this morning. Let's take a look at the big map. Pretty clear for now, but we know typically in the next hour or so stuff begins to build, so watch out for that. Also, Mike was mentioning some of the wet roads in the area. Have some wet roads reported here on our tool around the rim, I-10, 1604. We actually had a vehicle fire here too, on an on-ramp at 1604 and Bandera, so watch out for that. And also here to the east, you're definitely seeing it on the map on I-10, as Mike was mentioning, from Seguin over to Luling and on up to the west, and 90 from Gonzales to Seguin, so watch out for that as well. But not really impacting the travel times too much. Still about a half hour coming in on I-10 from Seguin into downtown San Antonio, 20 minutes on 90 in from Castroville, 24 minutes on I-10 in from Bernie. And we'll have another update coming up. Stephanie?
Thank you, Samuel. Police continue to search for the suspect that shot a man on the city's south side last night. This is happening in the 1200 block of Pleasanton Road. Our Sarah Costa is live near downtown with what we know about the incident. Good morning, Sarah.
Good morning, Stephanie. Well, San Antonio police say it started as two men who were working together who got into an argument over money. SAPD says they were called out around 8:30 last night to the city's south side in the 1200 block of Pleasanton Road for that shooting. When they arrived on scene, they found a 25-year-old man with 2 gunshot wounds in his back. He was in stable condition, was able to talk to police about what happened before he was taken to BAMC. The victim told police he and a 28-year-old man had been working together. They got into an argument over money being owed. Things escalated from there, and that's when he told police the suspect pulled out a gun and shot him twice in the back. Then the suspect drove off. Police say at this time they don't have a description of the vehicle that the suspect got away in, but they say they do know the identity of that suspect. Reporting live near downtown, I'm Sarah Costa, KSAT 12 News. Mark and Stephanie.
Johnson & Johnson's single-shot COVID-19 vaccine has been approved and is now available for emergency use. That means millions more doses will be available to American adults this week.
Meanwhile, Dr. Anthony Fauci is saying any vaccine is safe for even more Americans. ABC's Ike Ejachi has the latest.
New this morning, another vaccine becoming available in the fight against COVID. Johnson & Johnson's single-shot dose has been granted emergency use authorization by the FDA.
This vaccine has been shown to be 100% protective against hospitalizations and death.
Clinical trials have also shown the vaccine to be effective against the South African and Brazilian variants. The new vaccine will start shipping out today, with the first doses in arms coming as early as Tuesday. Of the almost 4 million single-shot doses going to Americans, 2.8 million of those to states and local jurisdictions, the rest to pharmacies, communities, and federally qualified health centers. And this morning, Johnson & Johnson saying they'll soon test their single-shot dose on children, even newborns and pregnant women. Dr. Fauci telling Americans to take whatever vaccine available.
The quicker you get vaccinated, the more quickly you will be protected, and you will add on to the overall protection in your county, in your country.
But some experts do say we're still a ways away from normalcy.
We're not able to vaccinate 80% of the population quite yet, and by April, we'll still be a ways off.
But many Americans are ready to get back to normal. This morning, reports out of Miami show a rising number of tourists gathering for spring break.
We're going somewhere now.
And on the COVID relief front, President Biden planning to meet with Senate Democrats Tuesday as they prepare to consider his $1.9 trillion relief package. The bill passed the House, but changes will be made in the Senate.
We have no time to waste. If we act now, decisively, quickly, and boldly, we can finally get ahead of this virus. We can finally get our economy moving again. And the people of this country have suffered far too much for too long.
Now, the $15 federal minimum wage is expected to be left out of the bill once it's all said and done. But there are some Senate Democrats who feel they'll be able to add it in as an amendment later on. In Washington, Ika Jachi, ABC News.
In your morning headlines, President Joe Biden will meet with his Mexican counterpart virtually today. President Biden and Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador will discuss migration, development, economic cooperation, and the pandemic. López Obrador is expected to ask the U.S. to share some of its vaccine supply. Mexico has agreements for hundreds of millions of doses, but most have not arrived.
Congress will begin its debate on a new U.S. elections law. The Associated Press reports the bill would touch every aspect of the electoral process. It would focus on taking down hurdles to voting, ending partisan gerrymandering, and adjusting campaign finance laws. A Maryland representative who sponsored the bill told the AP that much of the bill came from the recommendations of a bipartisan commission.
President Biden is backing a push to form the first union at an Amazon facility. Workers at a warehouse in Alabama are voting on whether to join a union. In a video posted online, President Biden said workers everywhere should have a free, fair chance to join a union. The vote continues throughout the month.
Online stockbroker Robinhood may be getting ready to offer its own stock. Bloomberg says it is making plans for an IPO as soon as this month. Robinhood has been at the center of recent wild swings among some stocks, fueled by postings on places like Reddit.
Some big name retailers trying something new to lure in customers. Buy now, pay later. Chains like Macy's, Neiman Marcus, and The Gap have all recently introduced the programs to try to bring in younger shoppers who have been less likely to use store-branded credit cards.
And there is a new challenger for Uber and Lyft in New York. Black Lane calls itself an upscale car service that has focused on trips to airports. It is now expanding to offer rides around New York City, and it plans to launch in several more cities around the world in the next few weeks.
6:40 back here at home. There's a new documentary called Living in My Skin that focuses on 33 black men living in San Antonio.
Our Max Massey spoke to one of the co-executive directors, Brandon Logan, in this week's Leading SA.
Yes, we talked about the documentary, the hope that it had a lasting effect on the Alamo City, the impact of Black History Month, and we also talked about efforts to help education programs in San Antonio's inner city. Take a listen to what Brandon Logan had to say.
If we can have this system that is focused on education, parent, and health, we'll have the ability to have these interconnecting locks that can help to lift these individuals up and out through a social vehicle that will help affect the future generations.
This is just a small piece of our full interview that we had on Leading SA this weekend. If you want to check out the full conversation, head to the Leading SA section of KSAT.com. We'll see you next Sunday. Guys, back to you.
Right now, 6:41, 55 degrees.
If a worm can't eat it, that's kind of one of our sayings. If a worm can't eat it, don't put it into the green cart.
Composting is an important method to be more green, but not everything can be tossed in the big green bin. After the break, we're going to learn more about what you can compost and what you can't.
If you take a trip to the store, you may notice dozens of products that promote composting.
But many of those products may not be marketed in the best way. So one of those products, these green bags. It may say on the box it's compostable, but the city of San Antonio will not take them in the big green bins. And if you get caught too many times putting them in the bin, you could get a fine.
Nick Gallus from the Solid Waste Management Department says not all of them are 100% compostable, but he says you shouldn't overthink the process, and the department recommends just using a paper bag.
We put the empty bag on the kitchen counter, and as we finish up our meal, you know, the napkins, the scraps, paper plates, if we use paper plates that night, we'll put it into the paper bag, roll it up, and then, you know, if it's full, you know, we'll put it into the green cart. If not, you know, we'll continue to fill it up.
And Gallus says you can use the paper bags they give out at the grocery store, so you don't need to buy anything special. He has an easy trick to remember what is compostable as well. He says if a worm can't eat it, don't put it in the green cart.
To see a list of what you can compost or find out how to get a green cart from the city of San Antonio, head over to KSAT.com.
Interesting. Didn't think of it that way.
Let's check traffic at 6:46.
All right, guys, thanks very much. Some delays starting to build, particularly on the northwest side here. This is a 1604 at I-10 West down to 39 miles per hour in stretches. That typically starts to build this time of the morning. So watch out for that if you typically use 1604 in that area. Also coming up a little bit later today, actually pretty much now here, sewer work at Southwest Military Drive eastbound at I-35. SAWS is doing some work there this week, so you'll have to navigate around that closure. Already see some delays building there as well. Also back up here, Bandera Road, seeing delays up, not too much of a delay, 11 minutes between 1604 and 410. Again, we had a vehicle fire reported up there in the frontage road there at 1604 and Bandera, so watch out for that. And here is TransGuide. We see the breezy camera there at 410 and Morrison. That's probably a function of where it is. 35 and Evans looking fine, but again, traffic starting to build, guys.
Mike's got a cool shot of a airborne object with modified winglets that's not an airplane.
Yeah, this is very cool. Set up with a GoPro, set on time lapse. So a couple of female cardinals. This one coming into for a landing. This one taking off, and looks like I assume a turtle dove or some sort of a dove out there, and what's that one? A flying Gewürztraminer or something. So anyway,
Sure.
Thank you very much for the KSAT Connect picture. And I'm just making it up as I go along here, folks.
Also, you're naming it after a German sweet wine. Well done.
Okay, we'll go with that.
Okay.
Out there at 410 at the airport, it looks like the road may be a little bit damp, some of the reflection of the headlights on the highway. But we did not get, obviously, the strong to severe storms like it looked like was going to be the situation. Of course, there was the risk for it yesterday, but a lot changed overnight. The atmosphere, there was the potential for it, but we have the kind of lid in the atmosphere, cap in the atmosphere, and that never really broke. And so that's why nothing ever really developed as far as any stronger thunderstorms. There are a couple of spots. It's going to be interesting because this has been the situation in the past couple of hours where you get some of those more intense downpours turning kind of red, which usually would then seem to develop into some thunderstorms, but they've been sort of dying down, and that's probably going to be the situation as well. A lot more rain off to the east right now. If you're going out 10, you're going to run into some of these showers. A couple of them on the south side of town, all sliding up to basically the north to northeast, and then over in portions of the hill country, just a few scattered showers here and there. That's pretty much about it. We'll have rain throughout primarily the first portion of the day. I've got a mention of a shower later on this afternoon, but that's just kind of taking into account those that are going to be kind of working their way off to the east. But I think we're going to be clearing out from west to east as the afternoon rolls on. Temperatures right now, 45 Kerrville, 55 in town, 52 in Bulverde. And big difference that you notice when you step outside, not only the windy conditions and that one TransGuide camera that Sam showed, which was really shaking because the winds are gusting about 30, 35 miles per hour, but also much drier air has moved on in here in behind the front that moved through. 72 in New Orleans. That's the air that we were in yesterday with all that humidity. And that's all been pushed on out. And you can see a lot of freezing temperatures around the country as of right now, 9 below International Falls. But all that really, really cold stuff is going to be sort of staying away from us. We've got this low, which is nearby. And again, we had a lot of the ingredients in place, but never were really able to break that cap in the atmosphere. So that's why we didn't get those strong to severe storms. This will kind of move on out of here. Once we get past today, we've got a nice stretch of weather. We're going to stay cool today, only mid-50s, and then low to mid-60s the next couple of days, then finally back up to normal readings and a little more humidity by the end of the week as this next low, this next trough tries to develop here. But as that moves on through, that's going to then pull down relatively drier air for the weekend. And unfortunately, we don't have any more rain in the forecast after today. We'll continue to see a couple of showers, maybe a thunderstorm around this morning. Temperatures will drop a degree or two here or there, right around low 50s this morning by noontime, and then back up to only 55 later on this afternoon. Still going to be breezy, a couple of leftover showers here and there. Tomorrow, much cooler, down to 41. Colder still on Wednesday morning, 37 degrees, probably some freezing temperatures in parts of the hill country. We'll only make it back up above normal Thursday and Friday, and then back to the upper 60s by the weekend. Plus, any return of humidity by the end of the week, that's going to go away for the weekend.
Well, like Steph said, after last month, we can handle anything temperature-wise.
Yeah, we're warriors now. Yeah.
No kidding.
You bring the cold air, Mike Osterhage. We can handle it.
Yeah, we got this.
6:51, 55 degrees.
And for many of us, Saturday and Sunday, just not enough time off. Tomorrow on GMSA, we will see how one company is testing out a permanent 3-day weekend to help prevent burnout.
Outside with Live Cam, news you need to know before you go is coming up as we take a live look towards San Antonio International Airport on your early Monday morning.
Good morning, I'm Katrina Weber, live on the southwest side at the scene of a stabbing. Police are investigating here behind this pilot station near the Love Station next to the drive-thru. That is where they found a man with stab wounds in his chest. Police say that his wife told them that he was talking to another man who they know, and that is when the stabbing happened. The victim rushed to the hospital with what police say are life-threatening injuries. They have this area closed off as they continue their investigation. No suspects in custody as far as we know. Reporting live on the southwest side, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
All right, thank you very much, Katrina. At 6:55, they still have this building slowdown here just west of I-10 on 1604, so watch out for that. And also some wet roads here to the west of San Antonio, Castroville and Hondo, so look out for that this morning, Mike.
Yeah, we got not a whole lot of rain, obviously. Looks like it's fairly dry out there, 410 by the airport. And there's some of those showers, a fairly decent cell is developing up there, moving into Bandera County as of right now. But that's kind of the exception. We'll have some scattered rain around here. 53 degrees right now. Also, it is very windy. Winds are gusting to 43 out there at the airport, 44 Stinson. High today, only 55, still windy.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks for joining us today. We'll see you back here at 9.